Biden is such a disaster during visit to East Palestine that his handlers forced press out of the room. Now, a whole entire year later, because it's an election season, of course, and he's not going to want anybody to point out that he hadn't been there. Biden decides to go to East Palestine and see what's going on out there after their major crisis that happened out there. Um, and people witnessing him actually witness a disaster. And so we go talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Now, this is the Gateway Pundit, the great Gateway Pundit, and this is an article written by Christina Layla. She reports that Joe Biden on Friday departed on the White House en route to East Palestine, Ohio, for a flyby photo op, and that's exactly what it was. Biden begrudgingly visited East Palestine more than 1 year after the toxic train crash. Biden, the lifelong scummy politician that he is, decided that since his election year, he would shake some hands and act like he cares about the people of East Palestine. That's exactly what I said. It's because it's election year. If it wasn't, he would have never went out there. He knew that when he if he debates Trump, that Trump will bring that up, because Trump went out there and Trump went out there right after the crisis happened. But on February 3rd, 2023, just before 9 p.m. Eastern, a Norfolk Southern train derailed near East Palestine, Ohio, a small Midwestern town of about 4,800 people near the Ohio border with Pennsylvania. At least 11 of the train cars that derailed contained hazardous materials. Several cars were carrying vinyl chloride, a cancer-causing substance. And government officials decided to burn the chemicals rather than let them drain onto the ground. The chemical explosion was enormous. The chemicals formed a gigantic toxic plume over the region. Here's a look at it right here. Biden was greeted by protesters. A little girl here says resident, not president. And this is the funny thing right here. This little girl right here said, "Don't sniff me." Because Biden, we know Biden like going around sniffing little girls' hair. It's disgusting. And I don't know how the mainstream media don't point that nasty fact out. But it was painfully obvious that Joe Biden didn't want to be in East Palestine. He doesn't care about the people who were affected by the toxic train crash, and he simply doesn't have the energy for the trip. East Palestine Mayor Trent Conaway began his remarks by pointing out Biden ignored the residents for a year. "Mr. President, year-long awaited visit to our village." Biden was in bad shape. He heavily slurred his words, blew his nose, and malfunctioned in real time. So we got some clips here. Let's check out these clips.
UK Administrator Regan, as well. We just concluded a briefing.
Look at this guy right here. I'm looking over here like, oh my God. This is our president. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. And Joe Biden spoke for 7 minutes. He was disengaged and struggled to read his prepared speech. Let's check this out here.
On data breaks that meet higher safety standards.
Wow. And Biden's handlers promptly forced the press from the room. Quote, "Any message to residents who questioned why it took a year to visit East Palestine," a reporter shouted as the press was shooed away.
Mr. President, any message to residents who question why it took a year?
It's time to leave.
Any message from residents who question why it took a year?
We are leaving.
We all know. We all know why it took a year because he doesn't care. He doesn't care. If it was a if his handler, if his puppet master Xi Jinping told him to go to East Palestine, he will go out there. That's for darn sure. But it's crazy. It's sickening that we have a president that don't really care. A year later, he finally come out there. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.